What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin coming back to you with another video. In this video, I want to get my final impressions of the Battlefront Beta. The beta ended yesterday, I believe. It actually got extended a day, so I guess that's a good sign that people were playing it. If you were looking at Twitch around the time, there were a lot of people, watching it, and there were a lot of people playing it. So I guess that's a good thing. That was one of the reasons EA brought the beta out. It almost worked as kind of like a demo. People got to, see how the game played. Of course, you only had really three things you could do: drop zone, walker assault, and you had the little survival map on survival mode on Tatooine. Now, I played on Xbox One. Xbox One is probably the worst version in terms of resolution. I mean, in the visual department, PS4 and of course PC. PC runs really well. I've seen the PC, and how it runs. It runs really good. So I've seen the game at I guess in its best visual state. I want to pretty much give I guess the good, the bad, and what I want or expect when the game comes out late November. I'm going to get the bad out the way. The star cards and the power-ups, I really don't like it. The star cards are like, of course you had your Y ability, which were in the beta, which were a shield, some kind of electric pulse, which added to your primary, allowed you to do more damage to shields and vehicles. And the other was a sharpshooter, where headshots would decrease the recharge time of your other two abilities. The other two abilities could which they call them like your left and right hand, which were, it could be an ion grenade, thermal grenade, cycler rifle, and jetpack. So you could have picked either hand between the four. I don't like the way they did that. I think they should have had it more class-based like the other ones. You had the assault, you had engineer, heavy, sniper, and I can't remember what it was called in the Battlefront. But, of course they could have filled that with something. And I know that sounds a lot like Battlefield. So, I like that class-based in the Battlefront games. I guess they're trying to do something different, but I just didn't really like how the star cards work. Of course, you could pick your regular primary, but that was the only thing that kind of felt right when you just pick your primary. The other things, it just felt weird. Of course, like your grenades, cycler rifle, jetpack, that's all unlimited. It works on a charge time, but like I said, I don't know. I wasn't feeling the way they implemented that. Now, you have power-ups, all scattered throughout the map, from vehicles to from vehicles to things like rocket launchers, like a shield dome, turrets. You had those scattered all around the map. One thing I didn't like about that is, of course, I forgot one. You got heroes as well, which I got maybe twice throughout my time of playing it. One thing I didn't like about it, that it wasn't marked. It wasn't marked. Of course, it was. It will come up on your main screen whenever you got near one. Excuse me. But it didn't. It wasn't like on your mini map showing you what each one was. And I know that would get people. People would probably be rushing towards the heroes one, or getting a TIE fighter or X-wing. So people would run to that. So I get that. But I still think it should have been marked. And I don't know, like I said, being in class-based, it would allow them to move, such as the rocket launcher. The heavy can have the rocket launcher. We'll see. I doubt they changed that, but that was probably the main thing I did not like about what they implemented in the beta. Star cards, and the way you got heroes, the way you got the vehicles. I just didn't like it. What I did like, visuals, even on the Xbox One at 720p, I still thought it looked good. like I said, I saw the PC version, so I saw what it at this at its high settings. I've seen what that looks like. Um, I I also liked it from the audio, the audio department. Sounded just like the movie. If you go watch the original movies, and some of those sounds felt like it was taken straight from the movie. So I think they did a really good job. Hell, even if you go back to the visuals, the explosions, the game ran really well. It was up to 60 frames. The only time it really dropped was when you were in the rebel base, and it dropped sometimes when you're in the trenches, which was the last part. And I'm mainly referring to Walker Assault because that was the mode I played the most. Now I'm pretty sure that was the mode a lot of people played the most. So visuals, audio, performance, pretty good. Especially for consoles who mainly get their games at 30 frames. But they were able to get it up to 60 and rarely drop below 50. Like I said, there were certain points where it would drop at right around 50, but rarely drop below that. So those were things I did like. People, you had a lot of people complaining about the way the weapon shot. It was the energy weapons. Of course, there's no bullet drop off. The only gun that had a bullet drop off was a cycler rifle, and that was because that shot project like an actual like projectile. But the main weapons were energy weapons. So a lot of engagements were at medium to long range. Hell, even with the pistol, people were shooting you across the map with the pistol. And a lot of weapons didn't have recoil. The only time your weapon was inaccurate was when you were shooting it so long it started to overheat when it started shooting everywhere. But for the most part, really no recoil. So the game is easy, pick up and play, and do well. Which I guess is not a bad thing. I would say the other games, which were third person mostly, I think there was more recoil. Your guns actually reloaded instead of your primary guns in the other games actually had ammo count. But I guess they just decided to go to recharge time. It's not like it's something that hasn't been in the game, so it's that's easy to understand. The movement, I've heard comparisons to that with Battlefield. I can agree with that, and that to me that's where the comparison to me with Battlefield ends. Like I said, how the weapons shoot and how Battlefield's weapons shoot completely different. And that alone makes the game feel makes the game feel completely different in terms of shooter. Just the way the weapons feel, the way the weapons shoot, there's barely any recoil, and you understand it's a futuristic laser weapon. The movement. Movement is, like I said, is the one thing you can compare to Battlefield, and you could tell. Obviously, it's made by DICE guys that make Battlefield, so that's why I draw that's where the similarities to me end. Because when I was moving around, felt a lot like Battlefield. I could definitely agree with that. I think anything else good? It wasn't enough game modes to really test about how about some of the ways some of the other maps looked. Solus, Hoth, Tatooine looked amazing. Although on Tatooine, I wish that would have been a multiplayer map and not the survival. Survival is way too easy. I played maybe twice. It's just too easy. You couldn't change the difficulty. That pretty much ends good. Sound, visuals, the guns shoot. You really can't complain about the way the gun shot. They laser weapons, no bullet drop off. So there are some things that I do like about the beta. What I expect, I don't know the release date. It's late November, but what I do expect or hoping to see is more game modes, which you're gonna get because you look on the beta. You saw there were more game modes. You saw there were things where you can customize your characters, which obviously was locked on the beta. But apparently the way they're doing the game modes is, before I get to that, well, of course, as you well know, no campaign. That a lot of games are starting to go with no campaign, multiplayer only, and then trying to charge you $60. And on top, and speaking of $60, they have a version that's, I believe, 80 and 110, 120 or something like that. Come on, dog. $120? Nah, I I'm actually gonna wait till the game comes out and then decide to get it. If I want to buy it, I'm gonna wait to see what other people experience in terms of the content that's in there for the full release the game. Like I said, with game modes, the way they're doing it is, say for instance, they're trying to recreate the battles instead of like you playing like a team deathmatch or capture the flag or something, and you could play every single one of the maps that's in the game. It's mainly objective based. For say for instance for Hoth, I believe it's only Walker Assault. There's like really no other game mode, or Sullust, or they're gonna recreate the battle of Endor. I believe they got one that's on a Death Star, from things I've been hearing, and there of course some droid, I think it's called Droid Run on Tatooine. They actually talked about that from the news I was looking at. So apparently they're trying to like just recreate the battles. I don't know if that's gonna work, because the previous games you could play on any map you want with multiple modes. Obviously, the older games only had like heroes versus villains, conquest, that's what they called it. Had like a capture the flag mode, so it wasn't a bunch of game modes in the other one, but those game modes you can play on just about every map that was in that game. Those games had space battles, and it was about 16 maps you could play on the disc for the regular price of the game without having to spend $120 to get those. But I don't know. My biggest concern is content. It is content without having to spend over $100. Sorry I didn't get any gameplay. Like I said, I didn't get the chance to play the last day. But let me know what you think down in the comment section about the beta. Did you like it? Did you not like it? And what were those things that you liked and disliked? If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe. Thanks for watching.